Welcome, folks, to a subject that redefines the very meaning of scale, of devastation, of sheer human drama, World War II. We're about to embark on a journey, a countdown, if you will, through the 10 most impactful invasions of that war. These weren't just military operations, these were pivotal moments in history, where the very direction of civilization hung in the balance. We're talking about millions of men and women from the frozen steppes of Russia to the beaches of Normandy, caught in a maelstrom of ideology and industrial might. We're talking about decisions made in smoke-filled rooms that echoed in the lives and deaths of everyday people. Think of it for a second, not as a dry history lesson, but as a tapestry woven from the threads of countless individual stories. The soldier shivering in a landing craft, the family huddled listening to radio reports, the general staring at maps with the fate of nations resting on his shoulders. That's where we're going, and trust me, you don't want to miss this. Welcome to our countdown of the top 10 invasions in World War II. Let's dive into some of the most significant military operations that shaped the course of history. Picture this: June 6, 1944. The English Channel, churning and grey, is choked with more than 5,000 ships, the largest armada ever assembled. On those ships, young men, most of them just boys really, from places like Kansas, London and Saskatchewan, all staring at the French coastline with a mixture of fear and grim determination. This was D-Day, the largest amphibious invasion in human history, involving over 156,000 Allied troops. The fate of Western Europe, maybe even the world, hung on the outcome of this one day. We'll walk you through the landing beaches. Omaha, Utah, Sword, Juno and Gold, each one a hellscape of bullets and explosions. We'll talk about the paratroopers landing behind enemy lines, the French resistance fighters rising up against their occupiers, the sheer logistical nightmare of it all. But more than anything, we'll try to put you there in the boots of those young men, facing an enemy dug in and determined to repel them. Because to understand D-Day, you have to understand the human cost, the sheer terror and courage of it all. This wasn't just a battle, it was a crucible, where the fate of the world was forged in blood and fire. September 1st, 1939, the world is still nursing the wounds of one war, hoping against hope that another can be avoided. But in the east, a storm is brewing. The Wehrmacht, Hitler's war machine honed to a razor's edge, unleashes its fury on a nation caught completely off guard: Poland. This wasn't just an invasion. It was a Blitzkrieg, lightning war, a terrifying display of speed and mechanized might. Tanks roared across the Polish countryside. Luftwaffe bombers darkened the skies, and the Polish army, brave but outmatched, fought a desperate delaying action. We'll examine the tactics, the technology, the sheer ruthlessness of the German advance, but we'll also look at the Polish resistance, the civilians caught in the crossfire, the refugees fleeing westward as their world crumbled. Because this was the opening act of a global tragedy, the moment when the fragile peace shattered and the world descended into darkness. Never forget Poland, the first victim of Nazi aggression and the spark that ignited the inferno of World War II. June 22nd, 1941. Hitler, flush with victory in the West, turns his gaze eastward towards the Soviet Union. Operation Barbarossa, the largest military invasion in human history, is unleashed. Over 3 million Axis soldiers, supported by thousands of tanks and aircraft, all pointed at the heart of Russia. This wasn't just a war, it was a clash of ideologies, a struggle for survival between two totalitarian regimes. The Nazis, fueled by their racist ideology, believed they were fighting an inferior enemy. The Soviets, led by the ruthless Stalin, were determined to defend their motherland, no matter the cost. We'll journey into the vastness of the Eastern Front, from the frozen wastes of Stalingrad to the killing fields of Kursk. We'll talk about the battles of annihilation, the partisan warfare, the unspeakable atrocities committed by both sides. But above all, we'll talk about the human cost, the millions who died in the snow and mud of that unforgiving landscape. This wasn't just an invasion. It was a descent into an abyss, a chapter of human history written in blood and ice. The Axis powers, including Germany, Italy, Romania, Hungary and Finland, all played significant roles in this brutal campaign. Chapter 5. Blitzkrieg in the West, May 10, 1940. The world watches in stunned disbelief as the Wehrmacht, bypassing the heavily fortified Maginot Line, smashes through the Ardennes forest and into the heart of France. The speed and ferocity of the attack leave the Allies reeling. This wasn't the static trench warfare of World War I, this was Blitzkrieg perfected, a coordinated assault of tanks, planes and infantry working in deadly concert. The French army, burdened by outdated tactics and demoralized by the sheer audacity and speed of the German advance, simply couldn't cope. We'll dissect the strategies, the innovations and the critical mistakes that led to this stunning victory. We'll follow the German panzer divisions as they race across France, leaving a trail of shattered Allied formations in their wake. But we'll also talk about the human side of this collapse, the French refugees fleeing south, the British troops desperately evacuating from Dunkirk, the sense of shock and disbelief that gripped the world. The fall of France wasn't just a military defeat, it was a seismic event, a turning point in the war that left Hitler master of Western Europe. Chapter 6, Italy, the soft underbelly and a long slog north, July 1943. The Allies, aiming to relieve pressure on the Eastern Front and open up a second front against Germany, launched their invasion of Sicily on July 9, 1943. Operation Husky, as it was called, marked the beginning of the Italian campaign, a prolonged and arduous advance up the Italian peninsula. This wasn't the decisive blow some had anticipated. The Germans, adept at defensive warfare, transformed the mountains and rivers of Italy into formidable natural fortresses. Monte Cassino, Anzio, the Gothic Line, these names became synonymous with intense combat and significant casualties. We'll delve into the difficulties of fighting in this harsh terrain, the strategic discussions and the partisan warfare that erupted behind the lines. We'll discuss the role of the Italian populace, caught between the fascist regime and the Allied forces, but most importantly, we'll honor the soldiers on both sides who fought and perished among the olive groves and vineyards of Italy. The Italian campaign may not have been the decisive front, but it was a crucial theater of the war, one that tested the Allies' determination and ultimately contributed to the downfall of Mussolini's regime. Chapter 7, Norway, Hitler's Northern Gamble, April 1940. While the world's attention is focused on the looming clash in the West, Hitler launches a daring gamble, the invasion of Norway. Operation Weserübung, as it was codenamed, was a strategic masterstroke, securing vital iron ore supplies from Sweden and denying the Allies valuable naval bases. This wasn't just a land grab, it was a complex naval operation involving daring raids, fierce naval battles, and the first significant use of airborne troops. The Norwegians, though caught off guard, fought back fiercely, aided by British, French and Polish forces. We'll delve into the frigid waters of the North Sea, where warships clashed amidst the fjords. We'll follow the German mountain troops as they scaled treacherous peaks, battling both the terrain and the determined Allied defenders. And we'll explore the strategic implications of this often overlooked campaign, a campaign that had far-reaching consequences for the war at sea. The invasion of Norway was a testament to German ingenuity and audacity, a reminder that the Second World War was fought on many fronts, from the frozen north to the sun-baked deserts of Africa. Chapter 8, Greece, delaying the inevitable, impacting the East, April 6, 1941. Hitler, frustrated by his Italian allies' failures in Greece, orders the Wehrmacht to invade the mountainous Balkan nation. Operation Marita, launched on April 6, 1941, aimed to swiftly secure Germany's southern flank and prepare for the invasion of the Soviet Union. The Greeks, displaying legendary courage, mounted a much stronger resistance than the Germans had anticipated. Supported by British, Australian and New Zealand forces, they conducted delaying actions in the mountains, inflicting significant casualties on the invaders. The campaign spanned the rugged terrain of Greece, from the fortified Metaxas line to the beaches of Crete, showcasing the heroism and sacrifice of those who fought. This campaign had a notable impact on the broader strategic picture, particularly in delaying the launch of Operation Barbarossa. Although the invasion of Greece ended in a German victory, it had significant unintended consequences. The campaign delayed Hitler's timetable for Operation Barbarossa, costing him valuable time and resources that would prove crucial on the Eastern Front. This campaign highlighted how bravery and sacrifice, combined with strategic miscalculations, allowed even small nations to profoundly impact the course of history. December 8, 1941. Just hours after the attack on Pearl Harbor, Japanese forces launched their invasion of the Philippines, an American Commonwealth located in Southeast Asia. Outnumbered and outgunned, American and Filipino forces under the command of General Douglas MacArthur faced an uphill battle for survival. This wasn't just a military campaign, it was a test of American resolve in the Pacific, a fight for every inch of ground against a determined enemy. From the beaches of Lingayen Gulf to the jungles of Bataan, a desperate struggle for survival unfolded. We'll retrace MacArthur's steps from his defiant stand on Corregidor Island to his famous vow, "I shall return." We'll discuss the Bataan Death March, a testament to Japanese brutality and the resilience of those who endured captivity. The Philippines became a symbol of American determination, a promise that even in the face of overwhelming odds, they would never give up. November 8, 1942, Operation Torch, the Allied invasion of French North Africa, begins. It was a strategic move to outflank the Axis powers in North Africa and establish a new front against Germany. The operation involved landings in Morocco and Algeria, territories under the control of Vichy France, a regime collaborating with Nazi Germany. This wasn't just a confrontation with Rommel's Afrika Korps. It was also a mission to win over the French population, balancing military objectives with political considerations. The campaign spanned the harsh deserts of North Africa, from the initial setbacks at Kasserine Pass to the decisive victory at El Alamein and the eventual surrender of Axis forces in Tunisia. We'll explore the complexities of desert warfare, the tactical genius of commanders like Montgomery and Rommel, and the crucial impact of Allied air superiority. The North African campaign was a pivotal moment in World War II, signaling the decline of Axis dominance in the Mediterranean and setting the stage for the Allied invasion of Italy. As we stand here amidst the wreckage of these invasions, surrounded by the ghosts of millions who fought and died, it's easy to get lost in the sheer scale of it all. But we can't lose sight of the human cost, the individual stories of courage, sacrifice and loss that make up the true narrative of World War II. These invasions weren't just military maneuvers on a map, they were pivotal moments in human history, moments when the fate of nations, of ideologies, hung in the balance. They shaped the geopolitical landscape we live in today, for better or for worse. And as we move further away from these events in time, it's more important than ever to remember them, to learn from them, to ensure that such horrors are never repeated. The legacy of invasion is a complex one, a tapestry woven from threads of triumph and tragedy, heroism and barbarity. It's a legacy that continues to shape our world, a reminder of the enduring power of human resilience and the ever-present danger of unchecked aggression. Thanks for joining me on this journey, folks. We've just scratched the surface of these 10 invasions, each one a pivotal moment in the larger conflict shaping the course of history. But I hope it's given you a sense of the scale, the complexity, and the profound human drama of World War II. Remember, history isn't just dates and battles, it's about people, their decisions, and their sacrifices. It's about understanding the past so we can navigate the present and build a better future. So the next time you see a World War II memorial or hear a veteran's story, take a moment to reflect on the immense sacrifices made and the invaluable lessons learned. Because those lessons, forged in the crucible of war, remain profoundly relevant in our own uncertain times. Thanks for watching our countdown of the top 10 invasions in World War II. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more historical insights.